Ever had somebody tell you, I made this money? You didn't. Who are you to question me about how I spend and what I do and how I invest and what I make? I made this money. Did you make this money? No, I did. So who are you to tell me how and when and where I can or cannot or should or invest or not with my money? Y'all know them kind of talks, especially with grandparents and parents and things like that, right? So have you not said those same things to your children when they question, right? Why I gotta do this way? Or why is it like this? Why can't it be like that? Why can't it be like so-and-so down the street? Right? You remember all that? And then the response was, well, when you get yours, when you get your own, you do it how you want to do it. But until then, this is how we getting down. Because I went out here and made this. You didn't. I went out here and built this. You didn't. I went out here and sweated, blood and tears and a bunch of drama to make sure that things were taken care of and provided. Where were you? Y'all remember that question? Where were you? Where were you when I was doing all this stuff? Where were you when I needed some help? Where were you when decisions were being made? Where were you when stuff had to be paid for? Where were you when stuff had to be picked up? Where were you on the phone calls? Where were you shaking hands and making deals? Where were you? Most of the time, we were nowhere around. Most of the time, we had nothing to do with any of that stuff. And most of the time, we reap the benefits of all that hard work, of all that planning, of all that preparation, of all of the toil, of all of the, the planting. Even when it comes to the harvest, right? You didn't have no hand in the harvest, in the gleaning, in the pressing, in the stripping, in the cleaning, in the bundling, in the carrying, and the transport. You had no hand in nothing, but yet you reap all the benefits. You reap all the blessings, right? You reap all the treasures. You get to take part in all the victories and all the celebrations. But yet you want to question, and I want to question when things don't go our way, when things don't go the way we perceive and think that they should go. Though we had no putting in, we had no insight, we had no knowledge, we had no vision and no goal. We had no part in it, but yet we want to sit back and judge. Do you understand how disrespectful that is? That when you didn't see the vision, you didn't have a goal in mind, you had no skin in the game in any aspect or area of this thing, but yet you have an opinion on the thing. And a lot of us have an opinion, right? They're like behinds. We all have one for the most part. But yet, when you don't have anything to put in, no input, you don't have anything positive, you don't have anything nice and lovely and virtuous and that's worth your weight in words on that particular subject, besides just complaining and venting and finding fault and pointing fingers and judging, you're in a really bad place. Because when it comes time for you to want to do something, you have goals. I have goals. I have visions. I have dreams. So you. And when it comes time to put these things into place and getting the right people to help us and getting the right resources so we can have what we need, guess what? You're going to feel the same way when you've done all the work, when you've done all the research, when you've done all the calling, when you've done all the driving back and forth and you've put in all the money, you've made all the sacrifice and took all the risk. And then someone comes along and they want to judge your hard work. You're going to feel the same way. You're going to ask the same questions You're gonna want to pull that person on the carpet and say, where were you? What did you put in on? You dig? When I was doing all this stuff, where were you at? You're going to have the same question. God had the same question too. Let's talk about it. You're going to be coming from the book of Job, chapter 38, verse 4. And it reads as follows. God was questioning Job, right? And he posed a question to him. And he basically said to Job, where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? You dig? Not only where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth, but also I'm gonna need you to answer me. I require an answer of you. You dig? I'm not asking you a question that I already don't know the answer to, but I require an answer from you. I need to know, where were you when I was doing all these things? What kind of understanding could you possibly have? Talk to me. I need an answer, Job. This is what he's asking Job. I need an answer. You know what I'm saying? Since you wanna question how I done things, I need to ask you a question. And I'm gonna require an answer, right? I'm gonna require an answer. Where were you when I was doing all these things? Do you have even understanding of what has been done? You dig? The audacity of you to form your lips, to let the words escape out of your mouth and ask me anything that you had no input on, and ask me anything that you had no plan, no preparation. You had no skin in the game. You had no decision making. How dare you ask me anything in a way of judgment about what I've done? Where were you? So that's the question that we have to ask ourselves before we go to God and complain and vent about our lives and what's going on with us and why this is happening and why that's happening and why he's allowing this to happen and why he's allowing that to happen. Yo, fall back and realize his grace. Fall back and realize his mercy. Fall back and realize that he didn't have to do anything, right? But because he loves us, he did all these beautiful things for us. He's made all these beautiful things for us. He's did all these things for us. And then we still want to question and have the audacity to ask him, why did you do it this way? Couldn't you have done it that way? You know, you are God. You could have did anything he wanted. And you know what? You're right. He is God. And he did exactly what he wanted. He made a way for me and for you so that we could have the blessing. We could be restored. You did? That's what he did for me and you. And he doesn't have to be questioned, and he doesn't have to explain to us anything. So likewise with us, when we put in the work, when we've put the time in, the studying, the researching, you know, the traveling back and forth, the writing, the dissertations, the essays, and we get that degree, it's nobody's business to question us. Why did we go the route we did? Why did we go to the college we did? Why did we take as many courses or as less courses as we did? Why did we decide to go into this field instead of this field? It's not for you and I to question any of that. You dig? If you're a business owner and you've taken the time to put into your business, to build your website, to get your LLC, to trademark your name, to make sure that, you know, you've paid your taxes, to make sure that you have inventory. If you've built relationships with all these different entities and now you have something that is lasting and thriving and it's growing, and then other people want to come in and say, well, why did you go with this company? Or why did you do it that way? Or why did your website look like this? Or why this and why that? Why this and why that? but you ain't put it on nothing. You ain't had no skin in the game. You ain't helped make not one design. You ain't helped looked up one developer or one product. You haven't put not forth one penny to invest, right? But yet you want to judge and tell me what I should have did and why didn't I do it like this? And it could be so much better if I did it like that. The first thing I'm going to say to you is kick rocks. Where were you? You dig? So I just want to share with y'all on this Faith Over Fear Friday, right? That let's exercise our faith in knowing that when we've done the work, when we've put in the time, and then when it's time to reap the benefits, don't let anybody question you and judge you about anything you've done if they were not there from the beginning, from ground zero, and helped you from the ground up. You dig? It's your man Levon. One love. Remember, Lamelli E, love, uplift, motivate, inspire, learn, laugh, encourage, and enlighten. Don't let nobody tear you down. Don't let nobody judge you when they ain't helped you from the get-go. But you keep being love and light. You dig? Your man Levon. I'm out.